I'm Steve Newberry. I'm from Louisville, Georgia in Jefferson County. I'm on our farm here that I farm with my wife and two sons. My parents moved here in 1949, and we have what they had as the home place and then some additional land that we've purchased since then that we now farm. Most of their land, when they ended up years ago, they planted most of it in trees. So they harvested the timber, and I cleared the land up, and we started with that base, and then we've added to it since then. This year we had peanuts and corn, we have hay, we have beef cattle, we have some timber still on the place. Well, my dad did farm for a while, and then he took an off-farm job and planted the timber. I think it's in my blood because my grandfather farmed. He farmed over near Warner Robins, and that was years ago, but it was just something I wanted to do because even in the first grade I can remember, with a garden. And at that point, even then I knew I had to water it. We didn't get enough rain here. And so I had to water that garden, and I devised a little irrigation system myself back in the first grade. And I've been trying to add to that ever since. Work ethic is really important. I can't take credit for it. I have to give their mother probably more credit than I would get for trying to instill that in them at a young age, because back when they were just small, just 6 and 8 years old, they started growing sweet corn. And we would take them into town, and they had a little trailer that we pulled behind the pickup. They'd load it with the sweet corn in the morning. We'd take them into town and drop the trailer and them at the local convenience store, and they'd sell corn all day. And so they started really early learning what it was to work and what it was to deal with people, how to deal with people. They even progressed to the point that they saved their money and all and were able to buy a tractor. And of course, they weren't licensed to drive during this time, so when they got that tractor, they got the idea they could just hook to the trailer and drive themselves to town. So that just made them totally independent when they did that, and things just flourished from there.
Hey, I'm Daniel Newberry. I get to farm with my dad and my brother, and I've been full-time at it since I graduated college in 2012, but I've been helping out ever since I could before that. I usually run the planter, and I usually load the planter. 660 acres worth of 50-pound bags wasn't too fun, but that's part of it. But yeah, I usually plant, Robert usually sprays, he usually digs, and then we're both on peanut combines. My favorite part about peanuts is when they just look like a carpet across the field. Probably about 120, 130 days, and they're just fully lapped, and they're just looking dark green and knee-high. That's one of my favorite things to see about a peanut crop. I can't really think of one moment where I said, now I want to be a farmer. When I was growing up, I wanted to be an astronaut, but that didn't pan out, so started back farming. That was probably when I was 8 or 10. Eventually you turn around one day and you see, that was land you cleared, that was a fence you built, that was a crop you grew, and you're just proud of that.
My name's Robert Newberry. I farm here with my brother and my dad. One of my main responsibilities is keeping up with the spraying. It gets pretty busy during the middle of the summer when everything's need to be sprayed on time. But I'm also pretty heavily involved with our cattle operation. I do remember lots of times just riding with my dad in a cotton picker on a tractor, probably because he had to take me because there was nowhere else for me to go. But I think it's just been in my blood. I've been around it ever since I could walk and never wanted to do anything else. So I love to farm, and I hope to keep doing it for a long time. My brother and I, we've been working at this, since we could walk. We've been together forever, obviously, like most brothers are. We work really well together. Like I said, he's incredibly smart. He's incredibly hardworking. We don't have a seed tender. He just put 100,000 pounds of peanut seed in that planter by himself, 50-pound bags. And I don't mean a man sitting there at the trailer helping him. I mean, he got off the planter and he loaded the planter, and there was nobody else there. He did it, and he stayed at it, and he's something else. he sure knows how to work and he gets a lot done. I mean, if he's working, I don't want to quit. If I'm working, he doesn't want to quit. So I think we just both keep each other out there, and we don't like to leave each other behind. So we'll usually stay out there together till we get the job done. There's always times when it's just frustrating and you wonder why you're doing it, and it hasn't rained in a month and everything's broken down and you're working around the clock checking pivots and working on pumps, but you just always pull through it, and you realize in the end why you do it, because it always gets better.
I do hope that my sons will carry. I feel certain that they will. They have so much invested in it in the way of labor and time that they've spent. They work night and day to do what needs to be done. And I'm certain that they're not somebody's gonna have to run them off to get them off this farm. They're gonna stick with it, and I think be here for a long time.